Hello, folks, it's me again, the man of many titles. Yeah, I know it's been a while. But hey, you gotta take what you can get, I suppose. Ahem. So, I'm sure that you probably figured this, but if you were born around the 90s, early 2000s, and you had a computer around that time, or had access to one, you've probably played a little game called Minesweeper. In fact, most Windows computers between the 90s, early 2000s, and even into the 2010s came pre-installed with two games, one of which being Microsoft Chess. You know, the 3D chess game that you've probably played once or twice when you were really bored. And then the other one being Minesweeper, a game which a lot of people are probably real familiar with. Yeah. I have never really won a game of chess, but that's neither here nor there. You really have to be really good or really smart to be good at chess. But that's not what I'm talking about here today. I'm talking about Minesweeper. Why? Well, a long while ago, YouTube made these things called YouTube Playables, which are basically just those bad mobile games, only without the microtransactions and needless ads. I have no idea why YouTube is doing these either, but I have played these every once in a while when I was somewhat bored. Anyways, they have made their own version of Minesweeper. As you can see, 3 difficulties as a standard with Minesweeper boards, but you know how it is with Minesweeper. The idea being that you have to click every tile that isn't a mine. I don't think I have to describe how Minesweeper works because you probably already know how it works, but today I'm just going to mention that Minesweeper is not exactly the greatest of games, and by that I mean it's not exactly fairly designed from a gameplay standpoint. Ooh, boy, where do I begin with this? Let me just go right into it. With Minesweeper, the idea is to click every tile that isn't a mine, as you can tell. Clicking a tile reveals whether there are mines or aren't. If there are numbers around, then it tells you how many tiles around said number are mines. Unfortunately, it doesn't really give you any other indication as to which tiles are and are not mines. The thing about Minesweeper is, you have to guess a lot. And therein lies the problem. On a board this big, especially with bad starting guesses, it's not going to be easy for you to figure out which tiles are and are not mines. You might be able to surmise things a little if you're good or at least decent at Minesweeper. But the point of all this is, even if you are good at Minesweeper, it's difficult to actually know which tiles are mines and which tiles aren't mines simply by looking at the numbers. Again, you can get a decent idea, but you are prone to guessing, and if you guess wrong, the game is over. And now you can see how this is very unfair. If you just go in wildly guessing, you're bound to hit a mine eventually. Likewise, if you try to employ the art of strategy, the only strategy you can really do is just click somewhere in the middle of the board and then try, and I do mean try, to figure out the rest of the mines from there. Which, if you're good at Minesweeper, it technically is possible. But it takes so much strategy and effort, and just one mistake causes the game to be over. Now, there are definitely a lot of Minesweeper pros out there, of which I am definitely not one of them. Though, to be fair, I'm a little better at Minesweeper than I am at chess. But let's be real. If you're good at Minesweeper, that doesn't really say much because most of the game is just blind guessing or semi-blind guessing, with you only making educated guesses about which tiles may or may not be mines. And remember, if you make even one teensy-weensy itty-bitty mistake, the game is over. Look, I'm not even trying to be bad for the bit, I really am trying here, but most people haven't won Minesweeper for good reason. And again, it's very easy to get bad starting rounds. It's also very easy to find yourself just unlucky with the draw. Now, thankfully, like most competent Minesweeper games, this one is just, well, simple in that you can never get mines in the starting round. But even with that in mind, games are generally over very, very quickly. Anyways, point being, the design of this game, while very classical, it's not exactly fair for new players. And even when you're trying to actually employ strategy, you can still lose because the game says so. How would I suggest fixing Minesweeper? Just do the opposite. You saw all those mines, right? What if the goal of the game was simply to just, locate every tile that is a mine in as few taps as possible, or rather, as few digs as possible? And you would get more points for digging up fewer tiles and digging up all the mines. So, in other words, since there are 20 mines on this easy field, when you find all 20 mines, you would get the most points by digging them up in 20 moves exactly. But you would simply just be able to play the game trying to find the most mines as quickly as you possibly can. Honestly, that would be a lot more fair, especially since if you're just trying to guess, you will find all the mines eventually. I might be able to finish this one. Okay. But yeah, when you actually play the game, you will be able to detect the mines. You will be able to detect the mines by... Drat! You'll be able to detect the mines by just randomly guessing, but if you want to employ strategy, you can use the numbers to figure out where exactly nearby mines are. If there aren't any, it would just turn out clear like, most Minesweeper games. And if there are mines nearby, you can use the numbers to at least know where to start looking for mines. That would be so much more fair. The whole point is that you're trying to clear the board of mines, right? So why the heck are you avoiding them? But, yeah, there's not much more to say here. Sorry if this sounds a lot more rambly than... Sorry if this video is a lot more rambly than usual, but, yeah, I just wanted to talk about Minesweeper for a bit. Minesweeper is quite possibly one of the worst games ever created. Well, at least in terms of just average game standards. Because it's just not exactly intuitive to the average player, or a player who is using a computer for the first time and has no idea what they're doing. And even to pro Minesweeper players, they can still lose even if they're employing strategy. They can still lose even if they're employing strategy to find all of the mines. So, yeah. My overall rating of Minesweeper, definitely a classic, but not all that great. Only play if you're really, really bored. Voltorb Flip is far, far better. Well, that's all for now. See ya.